Our chalice lighting words are by the Reverend Gretchen Haley. We who have learned so well how to keep going, come here to pause, to slow down the headlines, the decisions, the daily worries of what is worth the risk. We come to cease the weighing of joy, to let it all simply be, to let ourselves be here, held in a story bigger than any of us, held in community that is breathing together. In this one place, this precious hour, we come to be carried along in our unknowing, safe in this place that holds all our stories, ancient and newborn. We come to listen to the wisdom in the walls, witness to all those who have come before, ready to receive all who come next. Here, we behold each other, holding all our dimensions in awe, grateful for the pleasure of ordinary bodies, sitting in chairs together, without mediation or buffering. We come seeking courage for this one life because we know even now, even still, we are not done with our changes. Come, let us worship together.
Good morning, everyone. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit and join Reverend Justine and me in singing our gathering hymn. Circle round for freedom, circle round for peace, for all of us imprisoned, circle for release, circle for the planet, circle for each soul, for the children of our children. Keep the circle whole. Circle round for freedom, circle round for peace, for all of us imprisoned, circle for release, circle for the planet, circle for each soul, for the children of our children. Keep the circle whole.
Good morning and welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of San Diego, where we worship each Sunday in the South Bay, in Hillcrest, and online.
Buenos días y bienvenidas a la primera iglesia unitaria universalista de San Diego, donde adoremos cada domingo en South Bay, en Hillcrest y en línea.
I am the Reverend Justine Sullivan, and I use the pronouns she and her. A special welcome to those of you here for the first time, or maybe for the first time in a while. We invite you to fill out the welcome card in your order of service.
Soy la reverenda Kristen Carriga y uso el pronombre ella. Una bienvenida muy especial a todos que están con nosotros por primera vez. Les extendemos la invitación de rellenar el formulario en el orden de servicio.
Our community is a vital, diverse, multi-generational congregation without borders, with a mission to create community, nurture spiritual growth, and act on our values to help heal the world.
Somos una congregación compuesta de personas de distintas identidades racializadas y culturas, personas de diversas orientaciones sexuales y identidades de género, personas de varias habilidades mentales y físicas.
We are creators of community and compassion, and though we can fall short, we are committed to practicing an affirming welcome to all.
Con espíritu de reverencia, reconocemos que nos juntamos esta mañana en la tierra de los Kumeyaay, quienes continúan viviendo en todo su territorio. Al emprender este viaje juntos, mantengamos en nuestros corazones y mentes el pueblo Kumeyaay.
In a spirit of reverence, we acknowledge that we gather this morning on the land of the Kumeyaay, who continue to live throughout their territories. May the light of this candle shine for our commitment to the Kumeyaay people and to justice and equity for Indigenous peoples everywhere.
It's my pleasure to invite you to rise once more as body and spirit allow, to sing our church hymn and recite our aspirations.
Maybe? Yay, good morning, friends. I would like to invite any of the children or youth who'd like to come up and join me for our time for all ages, because I have some questions for you about shapes. Oh, don't all run up at once. Anybody? All right, friends, so I'm going to talk to you about shapes. Oh, wait, maybe. Woohoo! Come on up. Good morning. So I wonder, oh, thank goodness. So I wonder, when you're in school, or when you were in school, did you ever have to sit in a circle? Yeah? Yeah, let's take a look at this picture up here of some kids sitting in circles.
Picture of kids sitting in circles.
There we go. So what's good about sitting in a circle? Esther, do you sit in circles in school? Yeah, what's good about sitting in a circle? How about you? What's good at sitting in a circle?
You can see everybody.
Yeah, you can see everybody. Anything else good about sitting in a circle? That's what you were going to say. Yeah, you can see everybody. Everybody sort of feels like they have an equal voice in a circle. It makes it easier to see and also hear everybody, especially. I know I can hear people better when I can see their face. That helps me a lot. But when we sit in a circle, it feels good, right? We all feel sort of equal, like we're all in the same space. But circles aren't great for everything. So take a picture of this road shaped in a circle. Yeah. That would make a pretty good racetrack. But what would happen to the car if it went all the way around the whole road? Where would it end up? Where would it end up?
Same place.
Yeah, right back in the same place. It would end up right back where it started from. So circles might make good shapes if we're trying to talk to each other, but it might not be the best shape for a road if you're trying to get somewhere different, right? So I would like to think about another shape that's kind of like a circle, but different. Oh, those are actually pictures of my pet snails. There's 2 of them. These are aquatic snails, so they live in my fish tank, and one of our snails had a lot of babies recently. We didn't realize they could do that all by themselves. So we now have like 24 snails in this tank. And I want to think about the shape of their shell, but these are kind of babies, so it's hard to see the shape. So take a look at this snail. That's a different kind of snail, but it has the same shape on the shell, and it's the same shape as up here in our chalice. Do you know what that shape is called? What's that called? Do you know, Esther? No? Do you know? Yeah, it's a spiral. And so the cool thing about spirals is that they're sort of like a circle in that they go around and around. But as a spiral goes around, it also gets bigger. It spreads out. And so I'd like to think about what would happen if we took that shape and made a road out of it. What would happen? So let's take a look at this shape of a spiral road. Oh, does anybody know what that road is? Do you know that road? No, maybe you're too young for that road. That's the yellow brick road. You see how the yellow priest starts in the center with just one brick? And as it goes around, the road gets wider and wider and wider each time. And thinking about this road made me actually think about something that happened last week. After the Time for All Ages, I walked a different way when we were leaving out of the meeting house to go to RE because I forgot that I had to give the microphone back to Zane in the tech booth. And one of our friends got a little scared because I walked a different way and she couldn't see me. And so she got a little worried that she didn't know where she was going. And what's cool about a spiral road, if you think about it, is that as you move along, you go to a different place, like you're moving forward, but you're also going in sort of a circle. So you're also staying kind of in the same place for a while. So it feels more familiar, even though you're actually moving along to a different place. And maybe that could make that journey feel a little less scary, because you're going somewhere, but you're also staying for a while in some place that's familiar. And so, friends, especially for my grown-up friends, maybe we can think a little bit this week about how we're moving forward. So sometimes we can get so excited about where we're going that we forget to think about how we're getting there, and especially to think about how the journey might feel to ourselves or other people that are on the journey with us. And if we thought about that a little more, we might choose ways of moving forward that felt a little bit more comfortable and less scary for those of us on the journey. So, friends, can you stand up and help me with your hands? We're going to lead our affirmation. We'll say it first in English and then in Spanish. We are Unitarian Universalists, a people of open minds, loving hearts, and welcoming hands. Somos unitarios universalistas, personas de mentes abiertas, corazones amorosos, y manos que dan la bienvenida. And now I would like to invite all the children or youth who'd like to join me and their other leaders on the patio for religious education.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Lay ministers are available after this service at both campuses to provide a listening presence. This morning's lay minister in Hillcrest is Chris Smith right there. Thank you so much for standing up and being of such beautiful service to this community. And at South Bay, we have Matt Cooler, who is providing pastoral care as well as a lay minister. It's in South Bay. Join us following the worship for a very important congregational meeting. We'll have a light lunch for those staying for the meeting. This is a chance for us to check in about how things are going and to hear some very important updates. The meeting starts at 12:30 today in person at Hillcrest and online. It will be a very important and special meeting, and we'll look forward to seeing all of your wonderful faces if you can come. This Tuesday, January 30th at 6:30 on Zoom, Reverend Kristen and Reverend Justine will lead a workshop on the first two chapters of Transforming Conflict by Reverend Dr. Teresa Cooley. We have copies available here today, and the book is also available online as an ebook. Come see us if you would like a copy of the book while you're here. Now, one way that we live our values is by sharing our offering each week with an organization working for justice. On many of our hearts this morning are members of the San Diego community who are affected by the terrible flooding that just took place, especially in southeast San Diego. We wanted to let you know that our generosity offering in the whole month of February will go towards the San Diego Foundation Flood Response Fund. But it's still January, and throughout the month of January, we have been supporting different UU organizations. This week, our offering will be shared with our partner church in the Philippines. For over 10 years, First UU has sent funds for our public school expenses to UU families in Mangalan, a small farming village on the island of Negros. Today's offering will be in support of the Philippines UU Scholarship Program, and we will hear from Rick Zemlin and John Shibley, if you could please come up with a little bit more about this wonderful mission and work that we're doing in the Philippines.
Good morning, everybody. Yes, the offering today goes to the Philippines partner church. Here at First Church, we have two partner churches, one in Romania and one in the Philippines, in the small village of Malingan. And today the offering will go to our scholarship program there. Rick Zemlin has been to the Philippines recently, and he would like to have a few words with you.
Thank you, John. Yes, I have been there 3 times, actually. The congregation is the only liberal church in that village, really in that whole area, and is growing. It has about 80 members now. About half of that is children. And as you've heard, we support their children in going to school. School tuition is free in the Philippines, but there's a lot of other costs that a rural family has to pay that can be really difficult for a poor family in that part of the world. For instance, school uniforms, books, other fees even just to graduate. And then the high school students go to a school that's quite a ways from the hamlet that our congregation is in, and so they need transportation every day to get to high school. The church is also in the middle of the hamlet. It's really a ground, as you can see in the photo there, it's really a grounding place for the whole community, and as well as being a religious home for the folks. It's this hub of energy. And as I said, I've been there on 3 different occasions, and I've been impressed by the commitment of people to being congregation together and the energy in the community. And they are also so proud of being a partner church with us, which really touches me. This is their Partnership Sunday, which they instituted about a year or 2 years ago. The last Sunday in February, they celebrate their partnership with us. And so for us, it's our Partnership Sunday with them as well. It's already nighttime there now, but they've sent us photos and videos of their worship. And Liz Jones, who's part of our committee right here, is filming us right now and is going to be sending back to them what we're doing here. And so for me, it's just a thrill to be able to visit these folks, and because they're so proud and so welcoming. And I'm thinking of actually going there next year and hopefully being there on their Partnership Sunday a year from now. And I'll be going, of course, as an ambassador for this congregation, and I welcome anybody who wants to join me out there as well. Thank you.
We hope that we can support them, each student. They sent us a list of 44 students this year, and what we hope to do is to be able to send $100 for each elementary school student and $200 for high school students. High school costs a little more because they need to pay for transportation. So we hope that you'll be able to support us generously today, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rick and John, for your wonderful work, and Liz, and all who here are supporting this beautiful, beautiful work to ensure kids are able to go to school and stay in school. You may donate this morning here in person by credit card, by using the dip jars, or by cash or check using the donation boxes. If you'd like assistance, please raise your hand. You may also donate on our church's website at firstuusandiego.org. Thank you in advance on behalf of these beautiful children for your generosity, which is touching their lives and the lives of the generations to come. We will now gratefully accept and receive your offering.
As we're finishing up collecting our offering, I want to invite us to shift into a time of meditation. We'll just give ourselves a few minutes. We might start by just taking a few deep breaths, breathing in and breathing out, breathing in and breathing out. This morning, I'm going to invite us onto a guided meditation journey. But before we close our eyes, I want to invite you to look at the screen for a moment and just observe the image of the inside chambers of a nautilus shell. Take a moment and look at it. Now that you have the image in your mind's eye, I invite you to close your eyes. Find as comfortable of a position as your body will allow this morning. And let's once again connect with our breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Noticing the rise and fall of your belly. Connecting to that natural rhythm. Like a wave. And I invite you to imagine that in the palm of your hands rests a nautilus shell. You might take a moment to notice what it feels like in the palm of your hand. Notice the weight, the shape, the color and the texture. Just be with the shell resting in the palm of your hands. Then you might begin to observe the pattern. Starting at the very center of the shell, where the first 4 chambers form a circle. This is the birthplace and the home of the creature that lives inside this shell. Then imagine yourself moving out from that inner chamber into the next chamber. You might even trace it with your finger. One chamber and then the next, feeling into that emerging spiral. You might notice that it unfolds in the pattern of the golden ratio. It's a sacred geometric pattern that happens throughout nature. A spiral unfolding in beauty. As you travel further into those outer chambers, you might notice a sense of expansion. As the nautilus grows, new chambers grow to house its body. The chambers that came before are sealed up, knowing that they are too small to go back and to live inside of. They still carry all of those chambers with them, filling them with air to help them float through the depths of the sea. As you come toward the outside of the shell, you might notice that it is constantly growing, changing, spiraling out from the center, unfolding in beauty. Just like you. What is unfolding in you? What may need more space or more room? What chambers may be ready to be sealed off, knowing that there is not enough room for you to thrive? How are you growing? Take a moment to thank the nautilus shell for sharing its wisdom with you. Come back to the breath, noticing that natural rhythm, breathing in and breathing out. And as you feel ready, I invite you to open your eyes and to look around, to just notice where you are in space or time, to be here with each other, surrounded by love.
Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul.
Why I'm in Awe of the Spiral by Thomas Centolella. When in the Science Museum I arrive at the overview of our galaxy with its tiny arrow pointing to "You are here," which really ought to be "We are here," and see that the 200 to 400 billion stars of our local cluster are drifting or chasing or dreaming after each other in circles within milky circles, I can't help but think of those ancient paintings and rock engravings discovered all over our celestial body, of that one line which begins at whatever point it can, then curls outward or inward toward nothing anyone can define, the oldest shape revered by Aborigine and Celt, by mathematician and engineer and Burning Man reveler alike, and even accorded a place of honor among the mess of thoughts on my desk as a nifty paperclip of copper. But it's already there in the florets of the sunflower, crisscrossing with the precision of a logarithm, and in the pinwheel shape of the nautilus shell. As you travel along each chamber, you might notice a sense of expansion as the nautilus grows. New chambers grow to house its body, sealing off the chambers that came before, knowing that they are too small for them to go back to. Still, they carry them with them, filling those spaces with air to help them float for their whole life. They are growing, changing, spiraling out from the center, unfolding in beauty, just like you. What is unfolding in you? What may need more room and space? What chambers may you be ready to seal off, knowing they do not offer enough room for you to thrive? How are you growing? I believe that I read Kristen's meditation again because our pages got mixed up. And I can't even say how much I love that. And the funny thing is that I was going to cut the reading in the interest of time, but instead I reread something that had already been read. It's like hearing a cover tune of Joni Mitchell, like you hear the words differently when Katie Lang sings it. So Kristen is Joni and I'm Katie Lang. I was thinking, wow, did she read that poem when she wrote her meditation? So I'm going to read that poem another time and go on to my sermon, which are my own words. I wonder how long she was sitting there thinking, should I come up? Will she notice? This is the thing that I missed when we had to record services like in an empty room, because something like that would never have happened, right? But there's just something so, we are bonded in a way now. The circle is a sacred symbol. There are circles of, I'm never going to get over that. Oh, gosh. I mean, I've been through the chalice wouldn't light or things catching on fire, but I've never reread something that had just been read. It was worth repeating, don't you think? There are circles of community, circles of healing. We offer rings as part of the wedding ceremony as a symbol of the unbroken and unbreakable circle of love. Arms encircle us. But there are negative associations with circles too. When we fail to make progress on something, we might say we're going in circles or spinning our wheels. Do you ever feel like you're going around in circles? We do sometimes, right? Especially during that shutdown time of the pandemic. Didn't one day start to look and feel just like any other? I noticed it when I would go to feed my dog. I would be like, wait, didn't I just feed you? Or was that, yesterday or breakfast? And she would not tell me that she had already eaten. And not so long ago, we were preparing to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the passage of Roe v. Wade, which promised a right to choose reproductive health. And weren't we assured by every Supreme Court nominee that this was settled law and that we needn't worry about it being overturned? And yet here we are again. The Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, and now once again we are fighting for our lives. our siblings' lives. Nearly 50 years that ruling stood. Think about that. That means that every person of childbearing age grew up with that right assured. Every single person that might think about having a child grew up with that right to choose assured, and now it is lost. Aren't we just going in circles? Well, yes and no. There are certainly well-established patterns, and yes, a lot of the same old stuff keeps happening, but we are in a different place, individually and collectively. There's new technology that makes communication possible across great distances and to large groups of people almost instantaneously. How many hundreds of thousands of people gathered in outrage after the last administration took office, after the death of George Floyd, and after the overturning of Roe v. Wade? We are not going quietly. Even with concerted pressure on voting rights, people turned out in the midterm elections of 2022. New voters, disgruntled former voters came back. Not just the same old thing. Looking at what went before with new perspective, from a new vantage point. And perhaps making different decisions, engaging differently. And goodness, don't we need new strategies for combating the forces that are lined up against fairness and against equal access to voting, and you name it, all the good things that we want for ourselves and all our beloveds. There are forces united making those good things, trying to keep those good things from happening. The same old struggles. But we need to look at them in new ways and with new tools if we want a different outcome. In this transitional time here at First UU San Diego, one of our primary tasks is coming to terms with history. Now, sometimes when I mention that phrase in the congregations I'm working with, I feel this uneasiness, this tension. It sounds so ominous, doesn't it? Coming to terms with history. I think it is meant to have us take notice that telling your story in as complete a way as possible is important. Something to come to terms with. Now, over the rest of this church year and into next church year, we will take time to really hear and tell our story. Not just through a linear timeline. I know you've all experienced and created many timelines, but with stories and music and art. The conversations and the gathering together, reminiscing, learning the old stories, and creating new ones. That's what's important, those experiences. And that's what helps us move forward. Looking back, yes, but looking back with new eyes, from a new vantage point, not a circle, but a spiral. Now, I have a confession to make. I would not actually describe myself as an optimist. Dale can nod to this. It's not a word I use when I'm asked to describe myself. I guess I would say that I'm a realist. On a bad day, I might even say that I can be a bit cynical. See, you're learning a little bit more about me. Last week, it was the roller skating theft of the neighbor's sign, and skateboarding. And before that, I talked about how I don't really feel comfortable preaching about joy. And now I'm going to confess to you that I'm not really an optimist. That I sometimes grow weary when it seems that we are fighting all the same old battles again and again. And yet, this surprised me. When I had this idea of talking with you this morning about circles and spirals, I imagined spirals going up. Spirals moving upward to new heights, allowing new perspectives. And that surprised me because it sounds so hopeful, doesn't it? So optimistic. And yet, of course, spirals also allow us to drill down, to dig deeper, to move back and forth in time and space. Unlike a circle, we don't just end up right back where we started. And I offer this rather simple image to you as a reminder that we are moving forward. But if we don't examine where we've been, not to rehash old arguments or relive painful moments, but to truly notice where we have been, what we have learned, and then to decide together how we wish to move forward, we risk missing something important if we don't take the time to take stock. At our congregational meeting later today, and I hope that everyone hearing my voice right now will attend today's meeting, either in person or online. Today we will hear from our leaders about the state of things, about how things are going right now, and we will also look ahead at the possibilities that await us. Our vision of the future will be much clearer if we take some time in the next weeks and months to look back as well. You have a rich and interesting history, and much of that history is well documented, actually written down in that wonderful book by Jim Boone. Now, many congregations I have known and consulted with work to put a positive spin on their story, actually trying to hide the things that have been painful or ugly. But I want to tell you, when you put together your search materials for my job, for the developmental minister role, and for our wonderful assistant minister, you told the truth about what has been difficult in recent years. And that truth-telling is what caused me to call home to Dale and say, what would you think about moving to San Diego for 4 years? I think they need to be reminded of who they are at their best. Who you are at your best. Circling back with fresh eyes, a sacred spiral of celebration and memory and learning. And sharing these wonderful stories will allow us to look back together, like pulling out the old photo album at a family gathering. This is what we had before, like computers and CDs and things. We had books full of pictures that we looked at together. You have a rich history of working for social justice. You feed the hungry. You have planted congregations in nearby communities, and you established a second campus in the South Bay to see if we might spread the good word of Unitarian Universalism closer to the border. You work for reproductive justice, for environmental justice. You share your weekly offering with local nonprofits, contributing financially to organizations that share our values. You invite thought leaders and activists to speak and lead worship and share their music and their art. You display local artwork by local artists. You are making a difference in this aching world of ours. I was thinking of a conversation I had recently with some colleagues about the state of our world, and in particular, the outrage I feel that once a person's right to determine when and whether to remain pregnant was up for grabs. A wise senior colleague, a white woman, offered that we white women should think about that frustration and outrage that we are feeling, and imagine that maybe that is how people of color feel when time after time the same things keep happening and white people don't seem to get it. At risk for trauma at any moment because of your identity, because of who you are. It was an aha moment for me. Not a new idea, but from this new place looking back, I understood it more deeply. Not a circle, but a spiral, looking back and moving forward, drilling down and bringing something valuable up to the surface, into my awareness, into our awareness. This is the work. Doing new things, yes. Taking on new challenges, yes. But also being willing to take what we learn and look back to see what has changed. How have we grown and changed? Knowing what we know now, what might we do differently? Right? Maya Angelou said, when you know better, you do better. not to berate, not to punish, not to shame, but to learn, to grow, to repair, so that we can move forward together with no one left behind. The circle is a symbol of continuity. The spiral is a symbol of energy and movement, leading us more deeply inward toward our own center, like the florets of the sunflower and the pinwheel shape of the nautilus shell, in the coiling neurons of the cochlea, in the vastness of galaxies. We can learn from nature. We are part of nature. Looking back while moving forward, we needn't shrink from our history, worried about what it might reveal, or feeling tired of going in circles, spinning our wheels. Where we have been and who we have been need not determine our future, but they can inform our future if we look and listen and learn. Let us enter the labyrinth of spirals and circles and find our essential stories together. I close with these words from Oriah Mountain Dreamer. What if there's no need to change? No need to transform yourself into someone who is more compassionate, more present, more loving, or wise? How would this affect all the places in your life where you are endlessly trying to be better or different? What if the task is simply to unfold, to become who you already are in your essential nature, gentle, compassionate, and capable of living fully and passionately present? How would this affect how you feel when you wake up in the morning? What if who you essentially are right now is all that you are ever going to be? What if the essence of who you are and always have been is enough? How would this affect how you see and feel about your future, your past? What if the question is not, why am I so infrequently the person I really want to be, but why do I so infrequently want to be the person I really am? How would this change what you think you have to learn? What if becoming who and what we truly are happens not through striving and trying, but by recognizing and receiving the people and places and practices that offer us the warmth of encouragement we need to unfold? How would this shape the choices you make about how you spend today? What if you knew that the impulse to move in a way that creates beauty in the world will arise from deep within and guide you every time you simply pay attention and wait? How would this shape your stillness, your movement, your willingness to follow this impulse, to just let go and dance? Beloveds, may we dance.
And beloveds, let us sing. Please rise in body or spirit and join us in our closing hymn. I was standing by my window on one cold and cloudy day when I saw that hearse come rolling for to carry my mother away. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. I said to that undertaker,
Our closing words are by the poet Mark Nepo. When the sweet ache of being alive lodged between who you are and who you will be is awakened, befriend this moment. It will guide you. Its sweetness is what holds you. Its ache is what moves you on. Blessed be.
If you know this song, or if you catch on, you're very much invited to sing along. All my life's a circle, sunrise and sundown. The moon rolls through the nighttime till the daybreak comes around. All my life's a circle, and I can't tell you why. The season's spinning round again, the years keep rolling by. Seems like I've been here before, I can't remember when, but I've got this funny feeling that we'll all be together again. There's no straight lines that make up my life, and all my roads have bends. There's no clear-cut beginnings, and so far no dead ends. All my life's a circle, sunrise and sundown. The moon rolls through the nighttime till the daybreak comes around. All my life's a circle, but I can't tell you why. The season's spinning round again, the years keep rolling by. I've found you 1,000 times, I guess you've done the same. But then we lose each other, it's just like a children's game. And as I find you here again, a thought runs through my mind. Our love is like a circle, let's go round one more time. All my life's a circle, sunrise and sundown. Moon rolls through the nighttime till the daybreak comes around. All my life's a circle, but I can't